Hey guys, it's Nate doing the Options Locator May 23rd, 2021 newsletter video. First things first, the risk disclaimer found on the website. It's also in the Discord and at the end of the newsletter. So just take a look at that and we'll get started. So a lot of inside weeks this week. That's all it's going to be on the newsletter. There's not going to be any other setups this week. There's plenty to choose from, so I felt like it was okay to just stick with the inside weeks this week. So Apple, I'd like for it to get over 128. Not going to go long or anything on it until that happens. Looking for a short under 125. Get down here to 122.86 and 122.25. Tech's been beaten up, but if we can get some further downside action, that's what I'm looking at this week. ABMD, I like how it's put in a new lower low here, putting in a nice reversal, kind of got a little cup action going here. So if we can get over 282.29 and then work our way up, I think I put the 320 calls on there. There's no puts on there. The spreads and everything weren't great. So, but I do like the 320 calls for June. If we can get nice confirmation here over 282.29. AMAT earnings last week. Looking for a nice move here. Confirm it through this downward trend line over 130.69, 131.92, 134.10, and on up. I like this one. You got a dividend coming up this week. See if we can get a nice move up towards 135. Boeing. So we've got in the blue lines a small low broadening formation going on. They broke it here, and then in the purple lines we've got that falling wedge pattern. Broke out on news on Friday, but still went inside weak. So see if it created a gap here. So see if they can hold that there, hold the breakout out of the falling wedge, get over 236.30, 240, 241.10, 244.65, and on up. Looking at the June 250 calls on that one. BABA kind of in a stalemate here. They got into the gap here on Thursday. Couldn't confirm it. Still partially open there. It's in this broadening formation here. Now they're seeing if, hey, do we want to take it lower? 200 has held pretty well on that one. So if you look at 200, you got some, it's right here and here. So even if we break 204.39, I would look for them to hold 200 for the most part. Bed Bath & Beyond, like this one over 24.68, push over 25, and then 25.99 and on up. Another similar situation here with, they closed this gap here and then they pulled back, made new lower low. Now they're going to say, hey, are we taking it higher? Or are we going to push through the bottom of this formation here? So I do like this one for a higher move. Beyond, we had this one this past week through that downward trend line, inside day up. Now we're, they got some Oatly love. Now we'll see if they can confirm the move over 110. On a broader scale, on a weekly here, it's on a bigger broadening formation. So kind of at the bottom of it now, they're going to say, hey, what are we doing? So it took the inside month down, but now we'll see if we can get a nice reversal to close out the month. Dash, had it last week, but it never triggered through this downward trend line over 140.73 or so. That's what I'm looking at. Get up here to 145, 146.63, 150. So if we break 130, I'd like for them to see 125 test this gap here. 123.57. Gap goes to 118.72. So if we get 130, look for 125, 123.57, and then 118.72. Over 140.73, 145, 146.63, 150. DraftKings had a pretty good day here 2 Fridays ago, but kind of just stalled. If we can go over 46, look for test 47.58, test this tiny gap here. Probably would likely close it if it's tested. If we're looking at a short, looking for a move under this downward trend line or this upward trend line here, and look for them to retest 40. Expedia, right here in the middle of this broadening formation, do or die time as far as what they want to do. Over 172, 175, and on up is what I would like. Not really looking at too much of a short reopening play, so I don't want to get too bearish on it. FSLY, pretty tight action here. We get through this downward trend line over 40, basically over 45. Look for 46.92, test the gap at 48.50. Looking for at least a nice gap entry to at least 50. That'd be a nice little target mental whole number there. If we break this upward trend line, I'll look for it to retest 40. LC broke out this downward trend line here this week. Nice day on Friday on some volume. Would like to see it get over 14.51 and then 15 and then on up. See if they can get to the top of this formation here. LMT, not too off 400. If you look at it on a monthly, 400's pretty much, you got a lot of resistance here and here around the 400 area. Looks like it's forming an inside gear so far. So if we can get up over 400, and that'd be a pretty nice move, and look forward to get up and out of the current forming inside gear. Through this downward trend line, basically 392 area, and then 394.17, then 397 400. That's kind of what I'm looking at there. Short, look under basically 385, and then we're looking 381.35, 380.20. It's a tiny gap here, 375, and then 370.14. McDonald's, kind of, other than that wick there, all this is basically inside 1 day here. Basically over 234, I like it. And we can try and test new highs, 234.92, 238, 240. 3M, had a nice reconfirmation over 200 following earnings. They closed that gap, reconfirmed it, pushed through the top of the broadening formation there, couldn't confirm it, came back through. Now we're sitting mid-range. See if they can get through that downward trend line there. Over 205.35 would be ideal, and then work back up 208.95, 210. If they break 200 again, then I look under 198.39 and for it to come back to the bottom side of this formation. Neo, some kind of hovering right here in the middle, bottom third of this broadening formation here. Get over this downward trend line. We'd like to see it push up towards 37. Put in a nice reversal if possible here. Oracle. So remember the old breakout? They tested it here, pushed back up over 76.48. Now we're seeing if they can test 80 again. I'm having a hard time. All these candles are stuck inside these two candles here. Through that upward trend line, I look for a short back down to the 76.50 area. You got shooter here, so might be possible this week, but would like to see new highs over 80 towards 81. Pen, I like this more for a short setup under 76 to 73.50, then down here towards 70. On a monthly though, there is some good support right here, so I'll see if they can hold that support. If not, then I look for 70 to be hit. T-Doc over 146 basically is what I'm looking at, coming out of this nice downward trend line. See if they can reconfirm it here over 146. If not, under this upward trend line, look for a move back down to 130. Trade Desk TTD, big gap on the earnings over 555. Look for them to test that gap there. I'd like to see it move to at least 600 this week there. The spread stuck on it. Went with the 528 options, just for the simple fact that any further out they're pretty expensive and the spreads are pretty bad. So just be careful there. UPS coming out of this, I'd like to see it come out of this downward trend line there. Nice little consolidation here, flag, whatever you want to call it. Small gap here, big gap here from earnings. But if they can reconfirm it, I'd like to see a move up to basically over 215 to 217.76, 219.59, 220 plus. Needs to hold 210 though. And when another reopening play, a lot of mumbo jumbo in here through that downward trend line. If they can reconfirm it, they broke out on Friday. Couldn't confirm it, basically over 129. If we can get a nice move, 130. And then 132.10 and on up. So that's pretty much all I have this week. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, a lot of inside weeks. I think it was 126 inside weeks to look through, and then I think we have a pretty good share end of the month this week. So be careful, don't screw anything up there. There might be some, we had OPEX last week, and with this week being the end of the month, you might see some shenanigans going into the extended weekend, holiday weekend. So just stay on your toes and we'll keep at it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks.